First of all, welcome to 2021. Hard to believe another year has passed by, and hopefully, just hopefully this year will be much better than 2020. Anyways, today we're making a Spanish hangover breakfast. This is a perfect recipe for any occasion, but it's extra special when you make it if the night before you had a little bit too much fun. And let me tell you, it's got a ton of flavor. It's very easy to make, like seriously, no hassles here, and it's made with the most basic ingredients. But the best part, it's super healthy and it's gonna give your body a beautiful lift of goodness. Let's begin by grabbing a baguette and cutting it into pieces that are about 4 inches long, and then cutting each piece in half vertically to end up with some pieces of baguette that are open-faced. Now, to make this recipe, you can use whatever bread you have on hand, but try to use baguette bread as it gives this dish an incredible texture and flavor. Once the baguette has been cut, I'm going to toast the pieces of baguette in a toaster for about 3 minutes each. You want the edges of the bread to have a nice crispiness to it, and that middle white part a light golden toast. Once all the pieces of baguette have been toasted, let's move on to the next step of the recipe. I'm going to crack in 6 cage-free organic eggs into a large bowl. Now you can use regular eggs here, but the higher the quality, the better this dish is going to taste. And season the eggs with a little sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. And we're going to whisk the eggs until they're perfectly combined. Now, certain people say season the eggs after you cook them. I prefer to season them before, as it gives the eggs a better flavor, and in my opinion, it does not destroy the texture of them. Now, the beauty of eggs when you have a hangover is that they have amino acid, which is an antioxidant that helps break down the toxins from drinking alcohol. All right, let's start cooking up our eggs. I'm going to grab a non-stick fry pan. Important to use non-stick here, that way the eggs don't stick to the pan. I'm going to heat this with a medium heat and add in about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. After heating the olive oil for 2 minutes, I'm going to add in 2 cups of fresh spinach. The one I'm using is bagged spinach, so it's already pre-cleaned and pre-cut. You can totally use frozen spinach here. Just make sure you thaw it out beforehand and drain out any of the water in it. And start mixing the spinach around with that olive oil. That way it easily wilts. Now, spinach is another great ingredient if you have a hangover because it's rich in folate, which is a nutrient that may be diminished due to heavy drinking. About 60 to 90 seconds after adding the spinach into the pan and it's fully wilted, you don't want to overcook it. I'm going to add in the whisked eggs. Now, the style of scrambled eggs I'm looking to make here are big chunks of scrambled eggs. That way we can easily place it on top of those pieces of baguette. So you want to mix this about every 30 seconds or so. If you overmix it, your scrambled eggs are going to be much smaller and they're not going to have those beautiful big chunks. About 3 minutes after adding the eggs into the pan, these scrambled eggs look like they are perfectly cooked, and look, we have those big chunks in there. You don't want to overcook the eggs, otherwise they're going to have a rubbery texture. I'm going to remove the pan from the heat and set the scrambled eggs aside. Okay, let's start putting our dish together. I'm going to rub some raw garlic on each piece of toasted baguette. Make sure to cover the entire surface. What we're making here is pan con tomate, the famous Spanish tomato bread from the region of Catalan. For the next step, I'm going to grab a couple fresh tomatoes and once again, rub them all over those pieces of toasted baguette. And let me tell you, tomatoes, another great ingredient when you have a hangover. Research has shown that tomatoes contain compounds that protect against liver injury. So not only are they super tasty, but very healthy for you. Once all the pieces of baguette bread have been rubbed with that tomato, I'm going to lightly season each one with a little sea salt, and drizzle each one with a kiss of extra virgin olive oil. And for the final step, let's grab our scrambled eggs with spinach and add them on top of the pieces of baguette. And I'm going to sprinkle them with some freshly chopped chives, But you can also add a little shredded cheese on there. Check it out. Our Spanish hangover breakfast is then pan con tomate con huevos revueltos y espinacas. Truly a sensational dish, super easy to put together. Let's give it a try and see how it tastes. This is what I'm talking about. This is how you start the new year. Here we go. So good. That pan con tomate, the garlic, the tomato, the olive oil, then topped off with the scrambled eggs and spinach. It's absolutely delicious. It really gives you a lift of goodness. You saw this, very easy to make, no hassles to put it together. Comes together in about 20 minutes. Make it whether you have a hangover or for any breakfast. You're gonna absolutely love it. One of the best things ever. Really quick before I go, a shout out to one of my patrons, Michael and Kelly Thompson. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon, consider becoming one. It helps with ingredients and equipment to continue making videos like this. You'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego, and I hope you have a wonderful new year.